If you would have invested $1,000 over 10 years starting from 2016, here's what you would get. 1,000 in real estate would be worth 1,400. In gold, 3,000. The S&P 500, 3.1 thousand. Tesla stock, 21,000. Nvidia, 218,000. Bitcoin, 272,000. We're living in a new era of technology where gold and real estate just don't perform. If you don't own the technologies building the future, you are falling behind. Artificial intelligence, robotics, gene editing, space, blockchain technology, and the list goes on. Now, I believe 2025 is one of the best times in history to start investing. So I'm going to take $1,000, put it into Robinhood, pick a couple stocks, some crypto, and show you how simple it is to get started. Together, we're going to walk through each purchase step by step so you can get a feel for how to use Robinhood. I'm also going to give you a quick explanation of each pick so you have an idea of why I'm picking the asset, the why. Let's go ahead and get started. We're at Tesla, right? Okay, great. There's the stock price. We're going to go to our order. So buy Tesla, order type. There's all these different type of orders. We're just going to do a regular buy order. We're just buying in dollars. We're not even buying shares. We're going to start with 200. We're going to buy $200 worth of Tesla, which is about a little more than half of a share. Review, and we're going to buy Tesla. Done. This is desktop, by the way, also. We can see on the left, we have $200 of Tesla. It's already moving, right? $200.11, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so Tesla is an AI-powered robotics company, and they're basically disrupting the market through 3 segments. They're revolutionizing transportation, energy, and labor itself. As an investor, what you got to ask yourself in the next 10 years, in the future, is there going to be more or less self-driving cars? Now, the big vision for Tesla is that society will adopt self-driving robo-taxis because it's cheaper, more efficient, safer, etc. Now, the next segment is energy, and this is the fastest growing segment for Tesla thus far. And this contains solar roofs, power walls, and megapacks. The solar energy is stored in these power walls for house or mega packs for industrial grade utility. So now energy gets cut by 90%. You can store it, it's more efficient, and this hyper financializes economies. Now, the next segment is the biggest by far. The Optimus bot is an AI-powered humanoid robot that can do anything from walking your dog to working in a factory or working construction. Analysts predict this is a $10 trillion opportunity, and Tesla's expected to build 1 million robots by 2030. Now, when you put everything together, Tesla actually becomes a next generation manufacturing technology. These solar farms collect unlimited energy from the sun and stored in a super battery. And this all powers data centers and their gigafactories run by robots that are efficient, work 24/7, and hyper specialized to build anything. This is why I'm long Tesla. And now let's go ahead and purchase our next asset, MSTR, MicroStrategy, now known as Strategy. Okay, so MicroStrategy, let's do 100. So $100 review. Okay, we got $100 of MicroStrategy. All right, for Bitcoin, let's see, we're gonna do 100. Review, submit, purchase. Now we got $100 of Bitcoin. We got $99 of Bitcoin. Now, if you don't have a solid understanding of Bitcoin and why it's being adopted, then you might struggle with why I chose MicroStrategy. You got to ask yourself, is the world becoming more or less digital? As it becomes more digital over time, nobody wants to store their wealth in gold. In the digital age, Bitcoin is digital gold. Bitcoin is the best performing asset of all time since its inception, simply because of its scarcity in a system where money continues to be printed. The biggest asset managers on the planet do believe in it, and the US government is fully invested in this theme. All right, let's go to MicroStrategy. Now, MicroStrategy is basically a turbocharged play on Bitcoin. From 2020 to 2025, MSTR stock rose from $13 a share to $455 a share. And this was a 35x gain, while Bitcoin rose 11x. And a lot of this outperformance can be due to the strategy where you increase Bitcoin per share. MSTR is the largest corporate holder of Bitcoin with an insane 3% of the entire Bitcoin supply. They basically amplify the value of the stock by increasing the amount of Bitcoin per share. Yes, they do dilute their shareholders, but they're creating more Bitcoin per share for those shareholders. As more corporations, governments have to buy Bitcoin, they automatically pump the bags of MSTR. MSTR is leveraged Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin outperforms, MicroStrategy outperforms Bitcoin. It's as simple as that. All right, let's get to the next one. Next, we're going to go to Ethereum, ETH, Ethereum. How much of Ethereum do we want to buy? Let's do 100. So we're going to go with 100. Review order. It's as simple as this. Review order, submit buy, boom, done. Now we own Ethereum. We're going to go next, BMNR, Bitmine Technologies. We're going to go 200 of Bitmine at $31. There we go. We got Bitmine. Now, Bitmine is very interesting. BMNR. This is a leveraged play on Ethereum, the second largest crypto digital asset. Now, Ethereum is a little harder to understand than Bitcoin, but I'm going to simplify it for you. In order for the financial system and the internet to advance, it needs to adopt a layer of blockchain. You need Ethereum in order to run on this new layer of the internet and on this new layer of finance. It's a platform that runs self-executing contracts, and it enables a whole lot of efficiencies throughout the whole system. So where Bitcoin is digital gold, people own it because of its scarcity. Ethereum is more like digital real estate that makes finance more efficient through smart contracts. Unlike Bitcoin, Ethereum pays a yield just for owning it. You get paid interest. Okay, so now let's talk about Bitmine. Bitmine is taking the same approach as MicroStrategy, turning Ethereum into its primary treasury asset. Now, this alone wouldn't get me interested because a lot of other companies are trying to do this, but here's the kicker. Tom Lee is hands down the best Wall Street analyst since 2022. Well, Tom Lee is now on the board of Bitmine as a marketer to get more institutions and big investors to buy into this stock. Now, Peter Thiel, the co-founder of PayPal and Palantir, a billionaire, put a 9% $500 million stake into Bitmine. Kathy Wood from ARK Invest is also loading up on Bitmine. So when you take these three investing superstars, you're going to attract a lot more confidence into the stock. They plan to hold the most Ethereum out of any other company, turning them into a supercharged Ethereum play. Now we're going to move to the next investment, and this one I think has the highest potential, the best risk reward for the long term. We're going for another crypto, Chainlink, okay? LINK, that's where you put the ticker symbol in. All right, so for Chainlink, we're at $16.82. This is the big winner. Chainlink, we're gonna do 300, okay? We're gonna do $300 of Chainlink, see where this puts us. Now, the White House recently released a 100-page plan to make America the crypto capital of the world. Page 12 features a core infrastructure enabling the entire crypto ecosystem to function. Now, Bitcoin is digital gold and it needs nothing else to function. But the ambitions of Ethereum, Solana, and all the other coins is that the traditional financial system will plug in to these blockchains in order to layer the next generation of the internet and the next generation of finance. Chainlink is the underlying technology that powers it all. Blockchains inherently do not connect to each other or other blockchains. They need a connection. Chainlink is the key infrastructure that connects all blockchains together, as well as blockchains to the real world. Where Ethereum is like building on the World Wide Web, Chainlink is the internet connection, enabling the World Wide Web to actually function in the real world. Chainlink's proof of reserves is a breakthrough in financial security because it provides real-time audits to prevent things like fraud, money laundering, or even a financial crisis. Chainlink is the leader in zero knowledge proof, which is a new way of proving something is true without giving up the data. Chainlink enables the verifiable web, which means in the future, the internet, the World Wide Web, will be able to be verified so you don't get tricked. In my view, Chainlink is like owning a piece of the internet because it connects all blockchains. Now, the total addressable market for Chainlink isn't just the financial system where quadrillions of transactions happen every year. Its total addressable market is all data transfer. And that's why I think Chainlink is the biggest opportunity of all my picks. Okay, if you've made it this far into the video, I know you're serious, and trust me, I have a lot more value to bring you. Now that we have our picks, it's time to do the hard thing. Be patient. So here's our list. Bitmine, Tesla, MicroStrategy, Chainlink, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. We still have $119 of buying power. We're not going to use that. Okay, we will not be using that right now. I heavily suggest when you pick a stock, you do your research. ETFs are for people who don't want to do research or are too afraid to take risk. If you don't take risk in life, you're not going to become anything great. And that's totally fine if you want to be average. But for those of you who don't want to be average, this is where your life and your journey changes. Now, of course, this is not financial advice and nobody can guarantee that you win. But I guarantee you, you're not going to lose all your money in the market. You only lose when you sell at a loss. And these assets are not going to zero. It's not going to happen unless there was an atomic bomb and it destroyed the earth. Now, keep in mind, I'm going to turn this into a series. We're going to check on this portfolio as we move forward. And I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. I plan to add to this portfolio explaining the why behind it as the market moves forward to close out 2025. The goal is to show you a long-term investment strategy that has exposure to disruptive technology, the things that really make big gains. Now, if you want a little more background, go take my free course on YouTube, Investing 101 for Self-Directed Investors. Click right here. If you go to the description below, you're going to find my free Discord, a free newsletter, an advanced macroeconomic course, and some other socials you could follow me on. I actually do a lot more communication through Twitter. All right, thank you for your time. I'll see you on the next video.